Hello my lovelies, I just wanted to wish you a very warm welcome to part 2. I decided to split this into 2 parts because it was about 45 minutes total. Thought that was a little bit long, so I thought let's split it out. So today we're going to cover the YouTube questions. Thank you again to everyone who submitted. Bag of the day quickly is my beautiful and slightly neglected Mulberry Bayswater, but it works perfectly with this outfit that, you know, I am just calling cotton candy chic, with the blue, with the baby pink. Oh, adore. This bag is fabulous. Love it so much. 2013 Trippy Tiger. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Let's go. Okay, now let's move on to the YouTube questions. And how many do we have? We've got 7 or so. So let's rattle through these. So the fabulous Amelia from Amelia Rose's Closet has asked, your favourite and least favourite thing about YouTube? My favourite thing about YouTube has to be the community. I have met some of the most incredible individuals with the most interesting perspectives, outlooks, most interesting lives, so generous with their time, with their emotion. In some ways, there are individuals who are also incredibly generous when they do things like these incredible giveaways and things. So financially, they're very generous. Like, just fabulous people, to be honest. And I feel really fortunate to be a part of that. I feel really fortunate to have my like teensy little piece of the internet and to be interacting with such fantastic individuals. Amazing subscribers as well, who I've had the pleasure of getting to know, whether that be that we connected through YouTube and then chatted on Instagram or whatever that may be. So I'm really, really pleased to be a part of this kind of community. My least favorite thing about YouTube is, it's a tough one. That is a tough one. I don't think it's always the kindest environment. I see infighting between YouTubers. You see unkind comments from individuals, and I'm a believer that everyone's entitled to an opinion, but I'm also a believer if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So yeah, I just think that it can be in this way that it can be the most kind and empowering space. It can also be not so kind, and I've been very lucky. I've not really had any commentary that I'm aware of directed towards me that's not been very kind, but I see it with other individuals who are fabulous people, and in some instances they're able to take it in their stride. And for example, Autumn, she does these fantastic videos where she responds to mean comments, and I think that's an incredible way of handling those individuals, but not everyone could be so pragmatic about it. So I have a huge amount of respect for individuals such as Autumn, who can very much take it in their stride, have a great dialogue almost off the back of this, because I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could. I've had the odd not so nice comment, and it stings. It does sting. So, you know, and I sometimes think where you've not got the quite as nice comments, I think, what are you trying to achieve by that? You know, me saying that I don't like X item, it's just my opinion. It doesn't take away from anybody else. But then I think sometimes someone can take it personally. If someone says that they hate my Kurt Geiger rainbow bag, that's not a personal attack on me by any stretch. I mean, yeah, I own the bag, but it's a bag. It doesn't bother me, you know. So yeah, I think it's just about keeping everything in context. But I think it can be, in the same way it can be the most empowering space, it can be a space that breeds sometimes not so nice dialogues. And like I said, there's also sometimes infighting between YouTubers, and you know, you see passive aggressive content, etc. And I just think that's not what it's about. We're here to uplift one another, support each other, and empower one another. Like I said, I've not been involved in anything like that, and I hope to never be. And actually, when I tend to see stuff like that, it just switches me off the individuals involved, unless I really see one's point of view over the other. But yeah, that would probably be what I would say there. Okay, Tor from Anthropology, who has also just very recently launched his own Q&A video, so definitely go and check that out. I'll link to his channel below. 2 questions. Do you wear heels out and about in your daily life? Also, do you have any pets? First question, yes, I do wear heels out and about in my daily life. My preferred heel height is 120 millimeters. So this particular height is my preference. It is the heel height I own the most of, and it is what I wear most regularly. My next most worn would be 160s. These boots are actually one of my most worn pairs of heels. I blooming love them. And I very recently revealed my new pair of Only Maker knee-high boots, which I'm so excited to wear. And then I don't tend to wear 100 millimeters, and I don't own anything less than 100 millimeters. Just not for me. And then, do I have any pets? I don't have any pets. I did when I was growing up. I had a German Shepherd for a number of years, who lived at my parents whilst I was at uni, etc. And loved him to pieces. He was incredible. Don't have any pets myself. My lifestyle doesn't lend itself particularly. I also live in an apartment, so for a dog, I don't think that's something that I would necessarily have. I wouldn't necessarily have a dog because I don't think that the environment I live in is appropriate. I have looked at getting a cat. I would really like a Sphinx cat. If anyone owns a Sphinx cat, let me know how you find it. I'm prepared to do the work. I'm prepared to look after it in every way that it needs to be. I know they're slightly higher maintenance than other breeds of cat. Prepared for it. Let me know what your experience is if you own one. Okay, I was asked, what bag are you thinking of getting for reaching the 1,000 subscriber milestone? Have you been enjoying being on YouTube, and any trips you're taking before the end of the summer? So what bag am I getting? I'm actually not buying a bag for my 1,000 subscribers. However, I will be buying 2 Longchamp bags fairly soon. I've referenced that a few times. I just need to go into London. I also have some things that I'm doing around my flat for a bit. So, you know, sensible head kicks in, and you have to, you have to distribute your income. So it's not always fun. It means that you can't always buy the bags or the shoes or the, whatever that it is that you want to buy, but it's the right thing to do. So the Longchamp Les Pliages, the green collection in Thunderstorm, and a personalized piece would be my 2 next purchases, I believe. Have I enjoyed being on YouTube? Absolutely. I think it's a fabulous, fabulous place. Fabulous individuals. I love consuming content. I love the breadth of content. I love watching anything from, what culture. I love watching 10 celebrity rifts or 10 celebs you didn't know dated, to watching Monsters Inside Me on Animal Planet, Dr. Pimple Popper, then watching a video of someone unboxing, a Fendi baguette, a Christian Louboutin collection video, then watching someone have a bleach hair fail on Brad Mondo's channel. I just love the breadth of it all, and I love being a part of it. I think it's fabulous, and hopefully people are enjoying me being a part of it as well. And do I have any trips planned before the end of the summer? I don't have any plans to go away. I've had a number of weddings that I've attended over the summer, and that takes time, it takes money. I was also in the south of France in June. I kind of feel like I've ticked that box, but I do have a staycation planned in Cornwall, which I'm hoping will happen in maybe mid-October to early November, when I just need to firm it up, but I'm hoping to get a staycation in down by the coast. That would be lovely. Okay, what do I think of the Mulberry Lily? The Mulberry Lily is such a difficult one for me because I love the look of the bag, and I've gone to buy one a few times. What bothers me with the Mulberry Lily is the hardware. The hardware, I like hardware that feels quite dense, and that's one of the great things with the Kurt Geiger bags, is the hardware is quite dense, it's heavy, it's got some weight behind it. So, and I think that often makes it feel greater quality. Whether it is or not, I don't know, but that's how it makes it feel to me. The Mulberry Lily has very light hardware, which, to be honest, I can see why they would maybe do it, because they don't want to make the bag too heavy, particularly if it's a full leather bag, it can get quite heavy. But to me, it just feels a little bit cheap, and the Mulberry lilies aren't cheap. They're circa £1,000 for a flat bag. I have looked at them a few times because they are beautiful and they are very sophisticated. I would personally buy one in the kind of oversized, which I think is what it's called. They did this beautiful pink suede, oversized. They do a number of different ones. That's probably where I would go if I was going to buy one. One that was kind of the equivalent to probably a Chanel Maxi, I think is roughly the size, or maybe a Kurt Geiger double XL flap, something along those lines. But whenever it comes down to it, I just think that there are other bags from Mulberry I would prefer, and other flat bags I would prefer. For example, I would probably consider a Burberry Lola over a Mulberry Lily. And if I was going for a Mulberry, I have been looking at the Alexa, I've been looking at the Iris, and I love the Bayswater, so I would consider another Bayswater instead. So is it where I'm going to plant my money? No. If I saw an amazing one on the pre-loved market though, I possibly would, but it would have to be an absolute steal for me to go for it. Okay, so this is kind of part comment, part question, I believe, so I'll just read it to you. Hi Nick, sorry if I'm late to the party, but I wanted to say you've fast become one of my favourite YouTubers. That's really sweet, thank you. Your energy, your enthusiasm, and your willingness to be so open with us about your personal struggles and victories are inspiring, truly. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Thank you for choosing to be you and for giving someone like me or any other person out there who might be struggling hope that there is a lighthouse somewhere in stormy seas waiting to bring us back. Woo, that got deep, lol. Well, thank you. No, that's amazing. And that goes back to my earlier point that if being authentically myself helps inspire another individual to do that for them, and then they inspire another individual, and it's that kind of pay it forward mentality, then that's incredible. And I'm so glad to hear that. And this means a huge amount to me. So thank you so much. Anywho, what are some of your favorite music? Who is some of your favorite music artists or genres? Fave things to do on a free weekend? Spend a day with anyone in the world, living or not, who would it be? Are you a fan of the Mulberry Zipped Bayswater, or are you more of a fan of the classic? I've always been a fan of the Alexa, the older style, and it's still on my wish list. Do you enjoy Balenciaga? I feel like the older motorcycle bags are right up your alley as far as colour variety. Okay, so a few different things to unpack there. Favorite music genre? I love cheesy music. I love 80s, I love 90s, I love noughties. You know, I very much grew up in the kind of heyday of Christina Aguilera and Britney and Beyonce, Westlife and Boyzone and Steps. Oh, Steps, S Club, let's go. Busted, McFly. You know, I love that kind of cheesy era. However, I absolutely adore Celine Dion. Whitney Houston was an incredible talent. Cher is phenomenal. Love Take That. Love Robbie Williams. But then I also love kind of like European dance music as well, and dance music in general, but kind of the old school stuff. So you're talking like Scooter and Eric Prydz. Kind of all over the place really. But my particular go-to is like 80s, 90s, or kind of noughties pop music. Absolutely love it. Hearsay. Oh, what a time. What a time. Fave thing to do on a free weekend. Okay, if the weekend is totally free and I have nothing to do, I love to go on nights out. I never used to be that much into partying, particularly when I just kind of turned 18. I wasn't so much into it. Now, I love a club. I love it. You know, if someone says, do you want to go to a nice bar or do you want to go to a nightclub? A nightclub. And I love it. So that's what I would do on a weekend. Absolutely fabulous. Spend a day with anyone in the world, living or not, who would it be? I would love, there's a couple. I would love to meet Elton John. Absolutely phenomenal individual. I would love to meet Elton John. I'd have loved to have met Freddie Mercury. I just think such a talent. Who else? Oh, there's so many. Martin Luther King would have been an incredible individual to meet. Yeah, there's many. There are many. This is a question I probably could have done with preparing for, because, and if someone comes to my head later, I'll say, are you a fan of the Mulberry Zip Bayswater, or are you more into the classic? I personally prefer the classic, more like heritage Bayswater. So that would be, I've got two here. So that would be this particular style. However, do I think the Mulberry Zipped is absolutely fabulous? Yes, I do. And I actually mentioned it quite recently in my Birkin Alternatives video, because I think it has a very similar aesthetic for a fraction of the price. I think it is beautiful, but in terms of where I would be planting my money, I would probably go for the belted Bayswater over the zipped Bayswater, but my preference is always the kind of heritage classic style. You referenced the Alexa. The Alexa's really nice as well. That's one that actually, as time has gone on, I've become much more partial to, and I go into Mulberry every now and then just to look at the variations they've got, and I am thinking more and more about one. Do you enjoy Balenciaga? I feel like the older motorcycle bags are right up your alley as far as colour variety. I don't particularly enjoy Balenciaga. If I'm honest, it wouldn't suit me. It's just not my style, that kind of edginess. I don't understand it, if I'm honest. But yeah, it just means that I wouldn't buy it. Yeah, it just doesn't quite do it for me. And even their campaigns, I look at their campaigns and yeah, Balenciaga's not a brand that I would necessarily gravitate towards. However, I did see at Bicester Village a stunning Balenciaga city bag in hot pink, and it was phenomenal. I like the city bag. Out of kind of all of the Balenciaga styles, I like the city. Would I ever buy one? I don't know. Again, I think similar to the Mulberry Lily, the price point would have to be spot on for me to buy one. But the closest I've ever come is that hot pink one at Bicester. It was stunning, and the price point was really good. I just don't gravitate necessarily towards Balenciaga, but I have seen the odd beautiful piece, like Sophie Shohat recently revealed her Hourglass bag, and I actually, saying that, I do really like the new Hourglass kind of shoulder flat bag that they've brought out. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's like a much larger, soft kind of hourglass, but it's a long chain and it's beautiful. That is a bag that I would carry. Would I spend the money on it? I don't think so. I appreciate that Balenciaga pushed the boundary. They just pushed the boundary in a direction that I'm not. But I love it for the people who love it. I think it can look fabulous. It just wouldn't suit me. And finally, I have been asked, Bayswater or Birkin? My opinion is that the Bayswater has a lot of similar features, like the size, the flap that goes around the handles. Also, with the recession and inflation and increased travel, do you think handbags will soon lose the appeal and the prices go down? Or at least the price increases slow down? I've heard Fashionphile has excess handbags, as in not accepting as many new ones, and there are more discount offers. Okay, again, a couple of things to unpack there. Bayswater or Birkin? For my life, a Bayswater is probably going to be the winner there. I own Bayswaters. I'm not even close to being able to own a Birkin. I wouldn't even go in and ask to hold one, because I would just feel like a fraud, because I would be so far away from even being able to afford one. So at the moment, very much Bayswaters. I do agree with you that I think they have many similar features and they offer similar things. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I do love a Birkin. I think they are absolutely beautiful. Is a certain amount of my personal appeal for it, the fact that it's an Hermes Birkin. Yeah, it is, and I'm okay to admit that. I'm sure it's beautifully made, but I do find a certain amount of the appeal being the brand and the item itself. However, if they were to bring that exact design out from another fashion house, I would probably still very much gravitate towards it from that fashion house. like I do, for example, with Celine and the luggage, or the Phantom, or the Trapeze, like I do with Mulberry and the Bayswaters. It is just a style that I naturally gravitate towards, and Hermes sits at a slightly higher price point. However, Bayswater Garden Party or Birkin, I'm probably going Garden Party. It's more attainable, and I do really love it. Okay, so with the recession, inflation, do I think handbags will lose their appeal and prices go down? No, I don't think they will. I just think that people will prioritize in a different way. So, you know, we have to make decisions. If there are individuals who have unlimited resources, not everyone lives that life, the majority don't. So I think you just have to prioritize what's important to you and what do you want to put your money into. So you might in 2020 have decided to buy a bag from Louis Vuitton, MCM, Chanel, Fendi, because that £3,000 that you would have normally spent on a holiday, you just decided to go and buy an item instead, and that's great. But now you might decide that actually the holiday is the more important thing. So it might be a case of you buy something that's less expensive, you choose a different brand, or you choose a different style, or you just don't buy anything, and instead you go for the service or the experience that you want instead. There will be individuals who will just continue to consume fashion because that's what's important to them, and that's great too. So I think choices will just need to be made, but I don't think that's any different to normal life. But because of the restrictions that were kind of imposed upon us over the past few years, I think we have maybe made slightly different choices, and now we're getting back to a place where we might go back to the choices we were making in 2019, 2018, you know, before the world tipped on its head in the way that it did. So I would probably say that. Do I see price increases slowing down? I would like to, but I do also think they're kind of just the nature of the game. And if you don't like them, well, then stop buying the brand. And I know that's not what you're saying, but my view is, you know, the amount, again, why was anyone surprised when Chanel did their price increase recently? I saw so much on social media about, it's outrageous, I was saving for a classic flap and they did this again. Yeah, and they did it 6 months ago, and 6 months before that, and 6 months before that. So why we're pretending this is a new behavior, I don't understand. If you want the bag that much, then just save up and stop complaining about it. Or if you don't like what they're doing, save your money, keep it in the bank, or go and buy something else and go and put it into a brand that you do align with what they're doing. I spoke earlier about aligning with brands that you feel align to your values. If you think what they're doing is unacceptable, stop buying it. Make a different choice. That's your decision, not them. So yeah, anyway, to answer your question, because I went off on a little bit of a tangent rant there, I don't think it will all slow. I don't think that the popularity will decrease. I just think choices will be made that are different to ones we might have seen before. But like I said, I don't think that's any different to lives that, you know, to decisions and lives that we all normally lead anyway. So that was really fun, everyone. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your questions. I so appreciate you taking the time to write them and to interact with me. I hope you've enjoyed hearing my answers, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.